The woman was just about to walk out of the supermarket. Out of nowhere, a bullet hit her arm, but there was clearly no one inside the supermarket. She quickly hid under the shelf. Then another bullet came flying. It almost hit her head. In her panic, she noticed a bullet hole on the glass. It turned out the bullet was shot from outside. She quickly moved to hide under another shelf. She tore her clothes and roughly treated the wound. Then she shouted her boyfriend John's name, because John was still sitting in the car outside. But the music inside the car was too loud. John did not hear a thing. Mary noticed her phone lying on the ground not far away. If she could get the phone, she could call the police. So she bent down and crawled toward it, just as she carefully reached out her hand to grab it. The phone was instantly shot to pieces. The shooter had guessed her plan. He was already waiting to fire. Then a man's voice suddenly came from inside the supermarket.
Amelia, you read me? Over.
Mary quickly looked around after hearing the sound. It turned out the voice came from the walkie-talkie on the counter. Someone on the other end seemed to be calling for the store clerk. If Mary could get the walkie-talkie, she could ask the person to call the police for help. Mary felt hope again. She threw big bags of chips into the air to draw the shooter's fire. After doing it twice, she rushed toward the counter while the shooter was reloading. She managed to grab the walkie-talkie. Mary said into it that the store clerk had already been killed by the shooter, and that she was trapped inside the supermarket. Mary begged the person to call the police right away. But just as she was about to succeed, John grew worried since Mary had not come out for a long time, so he walked into the supermarket to check. He had no idea how dangerous it was inside. John had only walked a few steps before a bullet hit his neck. Mary was horrified by the sudden scene. She hid and trembled in fear. Mary wanted to rush over to save her boyfriend, but she was terrified of the shooter's bullets. She could only watch John's life slip away. Then another bullet struck John's head. Mary broke down and cried uncontrollably. A few minutes later, she finally calmed down. Now the only one who could help her was the person on the walkie-talkie. Mary explained the situation again. The person replied saying he would call the police immediately. He also said the police would arrive in 15 minutes. Mary mentioned that her boyfriend had also been killed, but then the man on the other end said something shocking.
Yeah, because I blew his head off.
It turned out the man on the walkie-talkie was actually the shooter. He had been toying with the woman all along.